Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I want to talk about non-Nintendo portable games consoles. I'm a huge fan of portable gaming, and this channel looks mainly at Nintendo consoles, maybe a bit of Sony as well. And there is no argument that Nintendo are the king of handheld gaming. They have been since the early 90s with the release of the Game Boy. They regained that title in 2004 with the release of the DS, and in 2017 when they released the Switch, albeit it's a hybrid console, but it's portable too, and there is no denying that Nintendo are the king of portable consoles. However, it doesn't mean that others haven't tried to compete, some with some moderate success, some absolute failures. So this video is going to talk about non-Nintendo portable games consoles, and I'm going to talk through a list of the main contenders. I'm sure there are others out there that have tried to compete, but these are the main ones that I would say a lot of people do actually know. So before I do that, let's start with a very quick release roundup of Nintendo portable consoles, just in the interest of fairness. So in 1990 you had the release of the original Game Boy. 1998 saw the Game Boy Color. 2001 saw the Game Boy Advance. 2003 saw the Game Boy Advance SP. 2004 saw the release of the first DS, and 2005 they squeezed in the Game Boy Micro. In 2006 they released the Nintendo DS Lite. The DSi came in 2009 with the DSi XL in 2010. They released the 3DS in 2011 with the 3DS XL in 2012. The original 2DS was released in 2013. The new 3DS was released in 2015, as well as the new 3DS XL. 2017 saw the new 2DS XL. And finally, you've got the Nintendo Switch released in 2017. So that's a quick roundup of Nintendo portable consoles, but let's look at the competition. Let's look at those that tried to get in on the handheld action, and like I said, with some success, but nowhere near as much as Nintendo. So we'll kick the list off with 1990, and we saw the Atari Lynx. This is the Atari sort of trying to take off the Game Boy. It was a colour console, it had a lot going for it, but it ate a lot of batteries and the games weren't that great. Then you had the NEC Turbo Express. It was a very expensive console that was released in 1990. It looked like a little portable TV. 1991 saw Sega release the Game Gear, which it's kind of like a portable Master System, so much so that I think there was even a Master System adapter for the Game Gear. 1992 saw Watara release the Supervision, and now this was a Game Boy competitor with mono screen, and it really wasn't fantastic. Now in 1995 Sega released the Nomad. Now I can't work out whether this is just in Japan or not, but the Nomad was a portable Mega Drive or a portable Genesis. It actually took Genesis Mega Drive cartridges. 1997 saw Tiger release the Game.com. Tiger were quite big in the handheld gaming, but not sort of as I would class as a console that you could swap games in and out of. So they released the Tiger Game.com. Didn't do very well. 1998 saw SNK release the Neo Geo Pocket. Now SNK were huge in Japan. They were big in the arcades, and their home consoles were supposed to be arcade replicas. Very expensive, but very good consoles, and the Neo Geo Pocket was no exception. In 1999, SNK released the Neo Geo Pocket Color, as it sounds, just a colour version of the Neo Geo Pocket. Great console, but it really didn't take off, especially outside sort of Japan. So in 1999, Bandai released the WonderSwan. They also released the WonderSwan Color in 1999. The WonderSwan was a kind of Game Boy competitor, whereas the WonderSwan Color was a Game Boy Color competitor. Neither of those did massively great, but they were good consoles. 1999 also saw Tiger release the Game.com Pocket Pro, a kind of updated version of the Game.com. Really didn't do well at all. We move forward to 2003, and Nokia, yes Nokia, the mobile phone maker who was massive at the time, released the N-Gage, and it was kind of a mobile phone stroke games console in one. Very bizarre looking console, and that didn't do very well either. I move forward to 2005 and we see the Sony PlayStation Portable. Now, by far the biggest competitor to Nintendo. I think the PSP sold about 80 million units throughout its lifetime, which with the DS selling sort of like 140, 150 million, it's still way off, but 80 million is so much larger than anything else. And so the PSP I would class as a success. It is by far the most successful non-Nintendo portable games console. That was followed up in 2012 by the Sony PlayStation Vita. This was it's kind of revamped PSP, had twin sticks, etc. Great console, hellishly powerful for its time, but overpriced and under-supported. And, well, that is it. We really haven't seen portable games consoles released much after that. I think the use of mobile phones and smartphones getting better and better, it really kind of killed off dedicated portable games consoles. That's probably some of the reason that the PS Vita didn't do quite as well, because it was kind of bang smack in the Android and iPhone heyday. Mobile gaming was then taking off and it's grown ever since. So that's where portable game consoles have sort of slid off a little bit, with the slight exception of the Switch, because it's portable but it's also a home console. And there you go. That is my roundup of, well, a quick look at Nintendo handheld consoles, and then moving on to the main focus of this video, which is to look at non-Nintendo handheld games consoles. And as I rattled through that list, there's a few on there that I wasn't entirely aware of. There was quite a few on there that I knew were about, but I just knew they didn't do very well. Some really did try, so the Atari Lynx and the Sega Game Gear really tried to make inroads and had quite a bit of a following, but they just couldn't match Nintendo's Game Boy. The Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, fantastic consoles with a bit of success, but very pricey and just not the best of game selection in comparison to Nintendo. So Sony really are the only company that have made any kind of success in dislodging Nintendo from their handheld gaming console throne. The PSP, by far the biggest selling non-Nintendo console at 80 million units. PS Vita, while it did quite well, was expensive and it was just released at the wrong time. For me, I do love dedicated handheld games consoles. I don't like playing games on my phone, so I've got a big selection of DS's and 3DS's. I've owned Sony PSPs and I've had a Vita. I would love to get hold of a Neo Geo Pocket Color, but the price of those is ridiculous. That list there of, well, 1990, it's about 22 years, if my maths are correct there, of people trying to muscle in on Nintendo and not really getting in there. But that is a quick look at non-Nintendo handheld consoles. If there's anything I've missed off that list, then feel free to comment. I'm sure I got those dates right, but if I didn't, then let me know. These are European release dates, so there may be a bit of difference if you're in Japan or North America. But there you go. That was a quick look at non-Nintendo handheld consoles. Let me know what you think. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.